What's up, everybody? This is your girl Shay So Savage. I want to welcome you guys back again to my channel. First, I would like to apologize to everybody because I have been a little busy with life and adjusting to life as we know it with coronavirus going on. And just since I posted my last video, my oldest daughter, thank God, she graduated from high school, and I'm proud of her because she had some hurdles thrown at her that would prevent most people from walking across the stage and graduating on time. But she had a strong support system behind her to make that possible. And as her mom, I wasn't going to let her sell herself short. So I did what I had to do with the help of my husband. We pushed her. We made sure she was able to get herself out of high school with a high school diploma. So I'm, proud, to see the young lady that she is becoming, because things are getting harder by the day. I got a small business that I run. I make custom t-shirts and cups and glasses and flasks. So if you want something done by your girl, you can look at my Instagram page. I am on there, My Favorite Customs. I am also on Facebook, My Favorite Customs as well. I'm trying to, just work on a couple of business ideas. I had a lot of orders that came in. I got kind of busy, so I got sidetracked for a minute. So I said I'm gonna get back into this YouTube thing because I was always the type of person, I really didn't say a lot, didn't talk a lot. I only really spoke to people that I was comfortable around talking to, or only people that I like, really. So I think people got the wrong perception about me. They used to think I was just this mean, nasty person, because I think sometimes, I have a tendency, I have like this crazy look on my face, but it's not because I'm mad or it's not because I'm mean. That's just my facial expression. So a lot of people took that as, oh man, like why you always mad all the time? Or why you look so mean? And I'm like, I'm not mad. And I'm actually a pretty nice person if you ever took the time to, to try to talk to me or know me. But I just wasn't one of those people that would just, randomly walk up to people and just start a conversation. I had to be comfortable around you to do it. But as I got older and as I went through certain situations in my life, I'm like, you know what? There might be somebody else that's out there that, maybe in the same boat that I was in. You just didn't speak on a lot of things that you might have went through, might have experienced or whatever. You were just pretty much, you just kept to yourself. Just didn't really speak. So a lot of things, I would like to speak on. Not in a negative way, not trying to put anybody down or anything like that. Just speaking on personal experiences that I have gone through, or just, talking about different things that, might have been a friend or a close relative or something that they might have experienced, and I might have walked through it with them a little bit, and, just get some insight, or maybe offer some advice to somebody else who could possibly be going through it. Sometimes you just speaking about your story, your testimony, it could help somebody else. Because, I was just speaking from a place of where I was in my first initial video, and I had a lot of people that watched that video, and just hearing the feedback that I got from it, you never know what a person is in their life, and you never know how a person feels, or you never know what they're going through, because we all put our pretty smiles on and we go through life as normal, and then some of us, we are deteriorating on the inside because of the things that we had to go through. So This particular subject has been pretty heavy on my mind lately because with the virus going on and a lot of kids are being stuck at home and parents are not able to work. Even before school started, I would hear a lot of educators that I know would talk about how some of the kids would come to school with bruises, or the children were just detached and they really didn't know that the background behind why the children act the way that they did. And I've heard a couple of stories where some of these kids were being abused at home, molested at home, and it kind of ate at me because I don't share a lot of my life traumas with just people, because it's a wound that runs deep, and it was a very hurtful experience. It came from a very dark place. It sent me to a very dark place, and it caused me to not be as trusting with people or wanting to talk with people, because sometimes when you experience certain situations in your life, people look at you funny or they treat you a certain way. And I'm very cautious about how I let people get close to me. And I have always been really, really protective of my children because I was molested as a child. And it was by somebody that was really close to me. And for years, up until my early 30s, is when I finally told my family that I had been molested as a child. And I was very young. It was like between the ages of 4 up until the age of maybe like 9 or 10. And the reason why I chose to open up about that situation, because it's like I feel like God was dealing with me for me to share my story to help somebody else, or to recognize when I see children who are not smiling as much. When they're around certain people, it makes you pay attention a little more, or just their behaviors. Because I know we all get busy in life and you tend to overlook certain things in your children. And it breaks my heart that now that we have been on lockdown for so long, and some people are still on lockdown. I know that some of these children probably been going through hell in their house, and they wish they had some place that they can go other than being home, stuck with the boogeyman who comes in their room late at night when daddy is gone to work, or when mommy's gone to work, or they have to go over to their uncle's house or their aunt's house because mom has to go away for whatever reason, or you know, I think it goes on a little more than we think, or a little more than we want to know. But it has to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed, because me speaking from my personal experience, I know what it did to me as a child, and I know what it did to me as an adult. I always kind of blame myself, like, what was it that I did to make this person want to take advantage of a child, a little girl? What did I do to make you want to hurt me like that? What did I do to trigger that sick part of your mind to want to put your hands or your body parts on me. So I can empathize with the children who are crying in plain sight, but we not seeing it. My daughter, she experienced it as well. And like me, she didn't tell anybody. She waited. A few years went by, and I guess she just got to her breaking point to where she had to let what happened to her be known. But it bothered me because I pay attention to people. I read their body language. I pay attention to a lot of the small things that I watch people do or I watch people say. And I noticed a change in her attitude, but I just felt like because, she was becoming a teenager, she was 13, you know how we were when we were growing up. We were kids, especially girls. They get real funky with you because, they going through that change in life or whatever. But it was more so, I felt like it wasn't just that. And I will always ask her, Shayla, is something bothering you? Shayla, is something wrong? And I knew it was something wrong, and I knew something was bothering her because I knew my daughter. She was always bubbly, and she was, full of life. She loved to dance. She still loves to dance now, but for a little while, it's almost like, you ever see somebody shine so bright all the time till you kind of see that light kind of dim in them, and you like, I can't put my finger on it, but something ain't right. And in my heart, I knew something wasn't right. I just couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was. And like I said, I will always ask her, Shayla, what's going on? I paid attention to her grades. My children are smart, and her grades just declined. And then I noticed she started to get into trouble, and it was just like a snowball effect. It just started rolling downhill, and I'm like, yo, something is not right. Something with you is not right. So I guess she got comfortable telling her truth of what happened, but she didn't come to me first. She went to somebody close to us. My mother-in-law. She told my mother-in-law. She told, my aunt. But as a parent, it ripped me up in the inside to know that my child was violated, and I wasn't the first person that she came to, because I went through it myself. So I would be the first one to empathize with her and understand and hug her and kiss her and tell her, look, it ain't your fault. It's nothing that you did to deserve anything like that. And it really does bother me. It bothers me even just thinking about what I went through as a kid. And I can only imagine how her being a young girl and you going through that and you trying to decipher, like, why would this person do this to me? Why would this person just, violate me this way? And then for you to hold that inside and not tell anybody, that is like the biggest struggle every day. I don't know how I got through that. That was God. I knew it was. It was. Because when I got to the point to where I was just like, I'm tired of holding on to this demon. I'm tired of holding on to it. I felt like I had a weight that came off of me to finally be able to tell my family, look, this is what happened to me when I was a kid. So all the misconception that a lot of people had of me when they thought I just walked around with an attitude and they thought I was just mean and they just thought I was nasty, that wasn't even the case. I was hurt. I was a hurt child. And then what tore me up even more, I lost my mother at a young age. And that rocked me to the core because I never got the chance to tell my mom. And sometimes I kind of blame myself for my mom not being here. Just for the simple fact that she died because of the same person infected her with HIV and she died. And again, I thank God because I didn't contract it, and I could very well have contracted it, but I didn't. That was the grace of God on me. And for anybody, young or old, it don't matter. If you have ever been raped or you ever been molested and you carrying that and you holding on to it, you gotta let that go, man, because that will eat you alive. I've been there and I know it will. So imagine you have a child, you might be an educator, you might have a child that's in your classroom, and that kid can be just, you might think they just the demon spawn from Satan. It might really be something going on with that kid. And I'm not asking you, to go above your pay grade or go above your scope of practice, but sometimes it don't hurt to just take a little look further into, I need to find out why this child is acting like this, because something ain't right. I mean, you hear the stories on the news, these little kids, people just violating them and just killing them, violating little babies, little kids. Like, this world is sick. I can imagine the cases that social workers have now, what possible child molestation cases or rapes in the homes now, since children haven't been able to go to school and they had to be stuck in these houses of horror with these people who just doing ugly things to them over and over again, and they don't have anybody to tell, they don't have anybody to talk to, they don't have any place else to go, and they gotta endure that. I thank God I still have a sound mind. I didn't lose it. I didn't try to kill myself. I didn't, for a while, yeah, I did kind of keep people at bay from me because I was like, I really don't trust people like that. But at the same time, I did have somebody play on my vulnerability because I was young and they knew I lost my mom early and kind of made themselves seem like they were there, to protect me, and they were there to love me, and it turned out that they were doing that for their own selfish reason. I always ask my babies, and I tell them, look, I've been telling my kids since they was young, nobody is supposed to touch you between your legs. And it ain't just little girls. I tell my son the same thing. Nobody's supposed to put their hands on none of that between your legs or your butt, or nobody's supposed to tell you to put your hands on anything between their legs or their butt or any part of their body. And I make it known, if anybody ever try any of that with you guys, you come and you tell mommy, and you let mommy handle it, or you tell your dad or your grandmother or somebody, you better say something, because that's not right. We got to start having these conversations with our kids early to let them know, because people who you think are your friends, you might have to go to work and you be like, oh girl, I just need you to keep my kids for a little while. You know, while I go to work, she might have a boyfriend in her house and he might have a sickness. This dude might be touching your baby and you don't even know it. And it don't even have to be a complete stranger. It wasn't a complete stranger for me. You got kids that's in their houses and their parents are raping them or molesting them, and they don't have nobody. They have nobody that they can trust, or nobody that they can tell, or they don't know how to. They don't know how to tell anybody, like, look, this is what's happening to me. I need somebody to help me. We can't be so busy with life until we just don't pay attention to the signs that, you know, for some folks they just crying out for help, and we just not listening, or we just not paying attention. But I know me, I know I kinda hid things from my family. I was good at hiding it because I just pretty much kind of detached myself from being in a crowd of people. I only had like a select few that I hung with. It was just like a handful of my cousins really that I would hang with on a regular basis. I think I told 2 of them, and they never said anything to anybody. But that's not something that you want to go on through your life and you have to carry that hurt. You got to carry that for years, 10, 20 years. You got to carry that with you. I wish I would have said something to somebody earlier, but how do you go tell somebody, you know, look, this person is hurting me, but they told me that if I said something to anybody that they were going to kill my parent. That's traumatizing to a kid. And I was very protective of my mom. Always was. As a little girl, I always was protective of my mother. And I wasn't going to do anything that was going to cause her to get hurt. But at the end of the day, like I said, I wish I would have said something earlier, because maybe she would have still been here now. Maybe she didn't have to go through abuse, or she didn't have to go through what she was going through. And I hope some of the big little girls and the big little boys who are watching this video, you might have an uncle or a pastor or auntie, one of your parents' friends, a teacher, somebody who probably put their hands on you years ago, and you still carrying that. Put these people on Front Street. Let the world know, like, look, Coach such and such did this to me in the locker room when I was 13, and I never told anybody. And I need to let people know that this is the type of monster that this person really is. Don't let people get away, with continuing to hurt little kids. or continuing to hurt people that you know or people that you love, or even hurting you. We go through enough in life itself than to have to continue to deal with people sneaking in your house, sneaking in your room at night while you trying to sleep, and you afraid to go to sleep because you don't know what this person gonna do to you when they come in your room. They in there laying in your bed in the cover, messing with your daughter, messing with your son. And when you try to put your child to sleep, they crying or they scared the boogeyman gonna come in there and gonna come and get them. Pay attention. Your son and your daughter acting funny, and you just notice a certain behavior, or they act funny around certain people. They don't want to be around that person, and just the vibe around them just ain't right. Pay attention. I don't know who this message was for today. I don't know who needed to see this or who needed to listen to this. Like I said, it's still little big boys and little big girls like me who carried it around for forever, and you still carrying it around. So you can let it go too. You don't have to carry that. And I'm going to even take it a step further. It's going to be some people that might get mad at me when I say it, but hey, it is what it is. Some of our little brown boys who walking around here with the switch, and daddy and mommy trying to figure out why is my son acting like this. Somebody transferred their demon onto your son, because that's all that is. That is not normal. That is abnormal. That is a spirit. Girls too. Our pretty girls, our pretty brown girls, walking around thinking that they men because they've been violated and they've been hurt, and they think that is the life, or this is what they're supposed to become, or this is what they're supposed to be, and it's not. I never questioned, I've never had an issue to question my sexuality from the foolishness that I had to put up with, and it never like entered my mind, maybe I had that type of issue. But I just put that out there because I have heard stories from some people who have shared with me. They were violated when they was kids, boys and girls. And the reason why they chose to be homosexual now is because Uncle Remus was in there poking him in his booty when he was a little boy. And when he tried to tell his mom and his daddy, they looked at him like he was crazy. Oh, you not telling the truth. You need to stop telling those lies. And that's another thing that really pissed me off with some people. When your child trying to tell you something that somebody or your friend or your boyfriend or somebody is doing something to them, don't take these people's side. You investigate it for yourself to find out, look, is this child really lying? Because I don't think a little child who just start switching up how they are, and you know how they once were, and they telling you, they crying out to tell you, like, look, this person is hurting me, and you so silly, and you so stuck in your mess, because 90% of the time, you probably already knew it, but you want to act like you don't know. Now that right there pisses me off. You love this man so much that you're willing to let him to continue to rape your girls in your house. You love this woman so much, it's okay for her to do all kinds of craziness to your daughter or molest your son, or however. Like, what is wrong with you as a person? Yeah, I said it. I did. Because I know somebody gonna watch this video, and you might not be one of those people per se, but you might know somebody, or you might have some of those people in your family right now walking around today, and then they talking about, oh God, I didn't know this was happening. I wish the child would have came and told me. Shut up. Yes, you did. You knew what was going on. You ain't want to do nothing about it. Nobody deserves to be violated in that way. Nobody. And certainly not a child. That is for sick-minded individuals to think that, oh man, you know, I don't want everybody to know, so we just gonna sweep this under the rug. Y'all better stop sweeping all these secrets under the rug, because eventually that dang rug ain't gonna be able to lay flat because of all your skeletons, all these bones you keep sweeping under that rug. Cut the mess, man. My family, they didn't know, but I do know this for sure. God bless his soul. If my grandfather, Hanson Ferguson, had known what I went through, God forbid, the person who violated me, they wouldn't have lived. My grandfather was a very hard man. But at the same time, with him being as hard as he was, he loved his children. He loved his grandkids. He loved his family, period. And he gonna protect his family. But I was scared for my mother. And I didn't say anything. But the older I got, I had to learn who my grandfather was. That was my protector. That was the person who I know would have protected me. But because I was a child, that was trauma. You telling me if you tell anybody, I'm gonna kill your mother. That would traumatize any child. Nobody wants to see their parent get hurt. Nobody wants to hear that you're gonna kill my mother if I tell somebody that you violating me. I can imagine what some of these people may be telling these little kids that they raping or they molesting or something like that. I can only imagine what they telling them. Oh, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all right. But just don't tell anybody because it's our secret. Anyway, I don't want everybody to know. I don't want everybody to know. Pay attention to who you have around your kids. Everybody don't have your children's best interests at heart, and some people would do it just to get back at you. Really. There's a lot of sick people, excuse me, lurking around in this world, and they can't wait to get the opportunity to do whatever sick mess they got in their mind to somebody else. I pray to God that whoever I'm talking to, whoever hear what I had to say, whoever is listening, if it touched you, it made you feel some type of way in any way possible, that's good, because I wanted it to. I want you to feel my pain. I want you to feel where I'm coming from. I want you to pay attention to your nieces and your nephews and your sons and your little cousins. I want you to pay attention. I want you to look at some of your family members, and look at some of your friends, and be like, you know what? I remember when such and such used to act one way, and then I remember when we was kids, and then they just, like, something happened, like something turned, like I noticed it, but I never said anything. You might need to go check on that person, and you might need to ask them, did something happen to you when we was kids, and you was scared to tell anybody? Like, man, we could talk about it. We could try to figure it out together, because some people need that, and you don't even know it. Say something easy to talk about. It's not something like I just woke up this morning and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna put everybody in my business. But I do believe a lot of the things that I did go through in my life, I give God glory for it, because I could have easily lost my mind. He didn't allow me to. He didn't allow me to lose my mind. He didn't allow me to want to kill myself. He didn't allow me to want to just give up on life. Because I think a lot of things that I did go through, it made me tough. It gave me tough skin. But some people, they ain't as lucky. It might have messed with them mentally. They might still have issues right now to the day, and you don't know it. This virus has shut everybody down. Some of these same friends, how you say your strong friends, check on them. Make sure they all right. My friends and my family tell me all the time, man, we don't be worrying about you because you strong. Yeah, I might be strong, but sometimes I get a little tired too. Sometimes I get tired of being, the strong one, because I have my own issues that I gotta struggle with, and I got my own life problems I gotta deal with. And sometimes, yeah, I want to ball up and I want to cry, and I want somebody to hug me and listen to me talk, and listen to what's going on with me, or what has gone on with me. But at the same time, I can hug my friends or my family, and I can be there for them and listen to what they going through. That's what we supposed to here for. We supposed to be here for one another. We supposed to be here to help each other. We ain't supposed to be here tearing each other down. We go through enough in a day. I just really, really, really hope that somebody took something from what I said and what I shared with y'all. I really think hopefully somebody took something from it and start paying attention. Pay attention to your kids more, man. Pay attention to who's around your kids. Pay attention to the children, even the kids in your neighborhood. Pay attention to those children, because some of them same kids that's over at your house and they playing with the dolls with your little girl, or they outside throwing the football with your son, some of them same kids are being abused in their own houses. And you might see the signs, or you just might not be paying attention. But if you do, and you have witnessed that, try to reach out and try to help them as much as you can. Let them know you are the safe haven. You're the safe place for them to go to if they ever need help. Because I don't want to see none of my children's friends on the news because they got killed because they've been abused by someone, or they've killed themselves because they were so depressed because of something they were experiencing at home, and you're right there and you could have helped, but because you didn't know, or because you didn't pay attention, there was no way for you to help them. talk to your kids, man, because I don't think they teach good touch, bad touch in school anymore. But the best learning comes from home first, and that's true. That's fact. You gotta teach your kids and let them know, look, you can come and you can talk to me and you can tell me if something is going on with you, or somebody's touching you the wrong way, or you feel like they make you feel uncomfortable in any type of way. Let them know they can talk to you about it. Let your nieces and your nephews know. Sometimes I've learned from my daughter, she feels comfortable sometimes talking to other people about certain situations because she knows her mama is. You tell me somebody done something to you, it ain't really much talking to me. It's really not a whole lot of talking, because I feel that strongly about somebody putting their hands on my child or my children the wrong way, any of them. And not just my children, it could be my niece, my nephew, it could be a friend of mine, it could be their daughter. But see, I even consider them my kids too. So I think that's all I have to say about that subject. But again, I could be a listening ear. I can help you. Even if you're watching my video and you feel like you ain't nobody to talk to, you need to inbox me. That's fine too. I'm willing to talk. I can tell you how I got myself, through the trauma that I went through. I can talk to you about it. And trust me, it's some other subjects that I can speak on that I experienced in my life too. So I tell people all the time, a lot of people like, yeah man, I know you like the back of my hand. Sometimes you think you know a person and you really don't. They can have you all wrong. And I know for years people have had me all wrong. You just thought I was just a mean, nasty girl. In the whole time I was just minding my business, or sometimes I was just battling within my own head. It didn't have nothing to do with you. So as my grandma Naomi says all the time, you never know what a person is going through, baby, and you don't. That is a true statement. So Facebook friends, YouTube friends, and family, I love you guys. I do. I just want us to be safe. I want us to be well. I want us to be well mentally and physically. Really seriously take into consideration of what I said. Check on your strong friends. Check on your family members. Pay attention and check on your kids. And keep a close eye out on who you have around yourself and your kids and your family. Because people appear to be one thing and they'll throw you a curveball. And you'll be like, man, if you never told me, I would have never known. Or if I didn't see it for myself, I wouldn't have believed you. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed day. If you're on my YouTube channel, Shay So Savage, please like the page, share the page, subscribe. I am going to come with some more topics. So again, y'all have a good one, and until next time.